Junior, you're the face. So basically,
By default. By default.
you're the face. So what has been your favorite episode or story to document so far and why?
If I can try. The thing is, I think I would be lying to myself to not say like that's another outfit. But because each and every one it's an experience.
Yeah.
On its own. Yeah.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
For me, it's to read minds.
This guy, you know this guy. And I'm like, I'm gonna say the same thing. Like,
It's fine if it's to read minds. Maybe my explanation will be the same as yours. Name.
When someone sees a picture that's not high quality, they're not gonna say, Mathaban didn't pay enough. No, they're gonna say,
picture, but one giving
this is not it.
And then afterwards, obviously moved to Kabakaspan, which was my initial plan. Actually also has a different place still already. Everything went south.
The best advice anyone can give you now. And yes, now in the space, I would say a banana backbone.
Today's the day to shoot our episode, another episode today for y'all. I'm on the road to fetch people who are going to be this part of the episode. So I aspire it. We are late. This guy. You check it to be because we have to fetch him.
Hello.
Simbali, Cyril Day. On pizza boss, Jenna, get like some pizza Simba. Get on pizza boss.
Hi, Tshepo.
Lega Simba. Kete. I can't payment.
What about them? What kind of guy that you have?
Happy Women's Month, Simbali.
Oh, come on. Thank you so much.
Are you happy? Why you said?
I'm happy.
Is it? In a beautiful one, check. That I can get to a player. One title I can't even see myself. It's fine. Okay. Assess corner, assessing Genil. You're gonna set up, as y'all can see, and this is just like 10% of like what we're about to set up. So I
Shoot them more. Shoot them happy. Everyone that's watching this episode, we decided to do the episode for you guys. Today, I'm sitting with my brothers. But they are making this whole thing even possible. So, I have myself, Fuki, and then this is Tshepo, our cameraman behind the scene, and then we have Simon Mthembu, the cameraman, but then
the sound engineer.
The sound engineer, and then obviously the face, which is me. And behind this whole thing also, we have a lady. So she'll be the one that's helping us to make this whole thing work. We say she has a couple of questions for us so that you guys know us better and this whole thing. So,
Inspector.
Who pays it for real?
I'm pretty for real.
No, it's not. The floor is yours.
All right, thank you guys.
No, that's gonna get that. That's gonna get that.
Lina, I'm like, okay, now. Okay.
As a face,
All right, no problem.
Right.
Let's do an icebreaker quickly then. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
For me, it's super speed.
Super speed.
Super speed. With it comes a lot. I mean, if I am fast, I can move forward and backwards in time, and I can be invisible, move through solid stuff because I'm way too fast. Whatever, but I can do a lot with super speed. I have super strength if I have super speed. There's a lot that comes from having super speed. So it's one package that has all above.
Mm-hmm.
For me, is to read minds.
This guy, look at this guy. And I know, I'm like, I'm gonna say the same thing. Like,
It's fine. It's fine if it's to read minds. Maybe my explanation will be the same as yours. Because now I've realized being in this type of work industry, if you could know what a person wants, you'll be able to execute the internal data specifically. So reading minds would be a huge advantage. Or the other parts that they didn't talk about. So that they can. So for me, I'll keep it that simple, is to read minds. Yeah.
I don't know now, since you took my thought. Oh, shucks.
Can't be the same.
For sure.
Can be the same. There's no problem.
Interesting.
Hey, I'll win 100%.
Let me not even deviate from that as well. But it's honestly, it's more in that sense to say, to really know even, the thought of a person before even they said anything, so that I can articulate my actions as well in the right way, so that when heights are so, begins are so that, it will help me a lot. It will help me a lot to really navigate those unknowns. Like, I don't know, you can't read my thought. So for me to be able to have that superpower, I'll be able to navigate through your thoughts.
My thoughts.
Leading, I hope it's limited because I don't want to read every thought.
But have you seen that movie? Have you seen that movie where I get what you say.
Just for that particular thing for me, wherever you need me for work, I'm there.
Everything has a downside to it.
Yeah,
so the
definitely.
downside of reading minds is going to be that.
Okay, but I'll take my risk, sure. I would probably that.
If you guys can get to minds and I know how to choose the same superpower.
Exactly. All right. So thank you guys. We're just gonna hop into the questioning. We know where to replace the production. We know Say Something to Somebody, the documentary series, right? But can each of you tell us a bit more about yourselves, your backgrounds, and how did you get into the world of multimedia production?
I've always wanted to be a graphic designer. I went to school and did graphic design for 2 years. And then afterwards, obviously moved to Span, which was my initial plan. But I'll see it and go get a graphic design and then go to work for someone. Actually, also has different plans still already. Everything went south. But one of the good days I went to church, and that's where I found these brothers of mine. The one we got to the thing, and then I don't want to talk about that. But then I met them, and we I don't know. We started something that I never thought it would come to this whole thing. We had so many names when it came to this whole thing. At some point, we were Forces of Light, and then, I started using what I learned at school to do what's happening right now. Because later I was very keen to learning like the cameras and stuff. It was a course that I was trying to get in all of that. Only to find out I get it for free. Yeah, thank you, Jesus. And then ever since that day, we've been pushing ever since. As Word of a Flesh on my side.
I know what was the question again. Unlike junior, I never had any tertiary experience, exposure to the tertiary education and whatnot. Everything I know to like reggae, and it has been a privilege and an honor to worship God through my serving, and through my serving got exposure and experience regarding the equipment. That's why I guess the photographer and the videographer. Since then, it has been a journey of self-discovery and self-growth. And as for career-wise, I initially my plan was not to be a photographer or anyway in the media space. Like what I want to an astrophysicist because it sounded fancy, and I am actually fascinated by the universe and the outer space, and I guess that's one of the things that played part in it. That made it easy for me when I get into the space, because I've always wondered, been interested of what more is there for me, until out there and everything, and. Obviously, my family in general, obviously they've not been supportive in this journey, especially I know every entrepreneur goes through that stage and season and everything, and I'm not from a off background there, but if anyone I got like an entrepreneur, honestly, especially as I'm from background as in sharp, I wouldn't necessarily advise them to take the path. I wouldn't, I'm being honest, but if you go and you are willing to sacrifice yourself, your serenity, your peace, and you not being understood, and being treated less, because in the space you give 110%, but you get bare minimum, you get about 10% of what you give, which is basically nothing. So you have to be willing to tap into a space where you numb your feelings, you numb everything. And it doesn't have to be like that, but I guess that's why Word of a Flesh as a whole is a multimedia company LinkedIn, because we are here to influence the culture and the perspectives of especially young minds in the society. And it doesn't have to always be not okay, couple. It doesn't have to walk into entrepreneurship. It has to be hard. Couple, it's a 5, then we're happy the 10, and it doesn't always have to be like that. And then it's just my perspective and the way I here to influence the culture in that manner, and that's why something to somebody exists. What's no question?
That's fine.
Yeah, that was more full. I'm like, what? This guy. Okay, now. For me, I think I'm gonna keep it short. I wasn't into media stuff per se, but more in a sense of musical stuff, because I think that gave me a bit of a push in terms of to pursue this thing. Again, now I'm dealing with sound and everything in terms of, so I guess it shaped everything towards that side. So it's never been a thought to start something like this. There's never been a thought, but like Junior said, this thing actually started in church. For me to be able to know certain stuff about media things, it's more basically everything started in church. And it's a kind of like a cliche way to say, like, most of things, but even Babina, everything are like reggae. Yeah, so I'm like, but to be honest, it's where everything started. I didn't know most of the things that I know now, but everything I learned through church. So that's why we met up and we said, okay, let's start something, since we trying to build our lives, build our life, to say, okay, what can we do in order for us to better ourselves in any shape or form. So that's why we started Something to Somebody. That's why we started Word Over Flesh as a company. So yeah, it's more basically that.
All right. So you guys, Junior mentioned obviously that the whole movement or the whole idea started with a bigger number of people. So with the three of you meeting, what made you guys decide to stay together? And also what inspired you to continue and start Word Over Flesh? And what does the name mean to you?
Honestly, I think everything else, it boils to the personal choice. We can hear the same message but interpret it differently. We can, whatever it may be, but for us, it's more, for me, I will say me, because I think it can even interact with what they might say. I understood where the position I'm at and where I want to go and what things that I want to achieve in life. So as much as it is, we can hear the same message, but whoever takes the action towards what we discuss, what we plan and what we strategize, I think that's what made us, three of us, to say, okay, this is really what we want to do. We will make plans to say, okay, we're going to do this and do this and do this, but some of them are not coming through. It's only us who are talking. And it was like, okay, it's fine. I think now we have to move as a 3 units to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, because some people didn't want to get in line with what we want to do.
It all boils down to our backgrounds, as Kari explained, and now I would say I stayed specifically because I believe it was the path that God had decided this one you should take. And it was up to me to allow myself for His will to take game.
A front
in my life, in a sense, because the first time Nixon mentioned that Word Over Flesh and apply His vision to us. At that time, I was in a space of depression and constant worry about my future and everything. And as soon as Mixona mentioned, I did it because I have been praying to God, God. I know but let your will be done upon my life, because I'm at right now. Keep busy the will that you have for me because of society's point of views and perspective. And I'm busy beating myself up, and I'm hiking for what my thing, and then mixed on a vision, understand that vision, and automatically became mine. So that's why I went together. And Junior I don't believe in star science, but Junior would say I'm beyond. Is it Capricorn? You like saying
disclaimer, I don't believe in them. Nah, I don't believe in them. Nah, I don't.
Yes.
Yeah, but then I think there's a reason why I was talking about that thing.
I mean, I know we are all Capricorns, this and that, but in so let's get together and more even now, because we've been through a lot. It's because we all have different personalities and characteristics. And how I want like one of us upon Paris. Then I know you not always like whatever he needs to tell me, and he's always hiding or something that I don't want to hear. That's how I know this is what I need to hear.
Yeah.
As much as I don't want to hear this is what I need to hear. And personality to a choice. Choice it's one of the things is it's a figure before and now. We choose a journey of entrepreneurship. It's not an easy journey. it's a lonely journey. I'm gonna give you that for free. Study as no support.
Hey.
No, that about entrepreneur. Do it. The first thing that you
Yeah.
oh sure. Pass.
Yeah, true.
And they never support you until I get to know what happens. My father hour that old or something.
Yeah,
And it's a hard state to be.
I will support you.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
proud of you and stuff.
They said a mouthful.
So basically, it's passion and a vision that made you guys continue on this.
Because we share the same person. If Nels Aboni, it could have been useless. So it's the same as marriage. If there's such a relationship, you're going to separate it because if you want to go, you know.
Yeah. So the name Word of a Flesh, how did it come about and what does it mean?
I'll explain it in a sense. Because it's more basically like Tshepo mentioned, it's more basically a name that kind of like struck me, and then I kind of like shared it then to them, and then kind of like sit with them and say, you know what, yeah, this is the word. We are Christians, so the word that means is the Bible, the word of God that He said in His word. So it's basically that to say we don't live according to our flesh, we don't live according to our whatever that we live according to what the word of God says upon our lives. That's word over flesh. So that's basically that. Simple as it is.
Simple as that.
That's it.
And it's an incredible name.
It is. It's so deep that I never work our set up our vision, schools and mission and stuff. Like I mentioned, one of them is to influence the culture in a positive way and in the ways of God. Regardless whether you're a Christian or not, but it's evident that you can't influence the culture without God. You cannot. If you every everything that's been happening, and if you can check from the Bible and until now, the only thing that fought against any oppression that existed is the word of God. Anything that fought against any culture, it existed, and it was not oppressing the people. It's still into Christianity. That's why it's attacked so much.
Let's talk about the company Word of a Flesh, right? We know that you guys are multifaceted and you cover a large platform of the industry. So what services do you guys do give, and give us just an overview of Word Over Flesh as the media company?
We deal with photography, we deal with videography, and then there's this documentary thing. There's another one that we're still working on, which is Patia Music on the side. And then the fifth one, should we talk about it?
If it's Word Over Flesh, say it.
Yeah, so also we're gonna take out match soon enough when it comes to it. But then it deals basically on those four things. Then currently, to say it's photography, it's videography, it's documentaries, and then there's music also.
No, that's amazing.
Yes.
And who are your clients? Who would you say are your clients with regards to what the services that you guys offer?
Our client is everyone our services, because we said we want to influence the culture in a positive way. So we do have a target audience, but I'm not gonna call that target audience it's our client, because our targeted audience, that means they're not usually the clients that come to us. So everyone or any either photography, videography, corporate or not corporate, that is our client, that is our target audience. So we don't have a narrow client base.
So you guys spoke of entrepreneurship earlier on and its challenges, right? So what are the biggest challenges you've faced since starting Word Over Flesh, and how have you overcome them?
Now I would say lack of support, because
I
society,
want to say that too.
society you shall
Aye.
regard my any evidence of income and everything. And the only way you can overcome them is to silence those voices and tune yourself into the vision that God has given you, because ultimately never see you entertaining one of the vision. Why should you allow their say affect you? If we seek advice from God, not from anyone inexperienced to give you advice, because that will find what they think you should do, while it's not what you should do. The Spirit knows more than we do. God said, the Spirit as our to guide us again. As our helper, yes, as our helper, because the Spirit knows more than we know. So the best thing you can do every time we're in a situation as an entrepreneur, you can't even go to your mother who just wants like, I'm tired, I feel like giving up, because once I'm gonna not give up. I told you the best thing you can do is to remember the promises God has for you. Our children are come to me, those who are heavy burdened. So that's an advice I would give any entrepreneur, if they're not Christian, but yeah.
And do you think it's a thing? It comes with being an entrepreneur, or do you think it's something that's within the industry that you guys are in? Do you think the industry you're in available, it's just underestimated when it comes to the amount of work that goes into what you guys do?
I think for clients, it's just a matter of not understanding.
Yeah.
You need to understand, or if you want quality, you need to pay more. If you want things that are good for you, you need to pay more. You have to budget for what you need, or else just go to someone who they will help you the way when about like thing. Hence I said the power. If like super strength, it's no, it's fine. If I'm there to take pictures and give them to you, it's fine. If I'll be able to do that, but then in most cases we don't strive for that. We always strive for quality.
I get you.
Yes.
So speaking of quality and influencing the culture, what sets Word Over Flesh apart from any other multimedia company?
What sets us apart from our competitors? We strive for quality in everything that we do. We make sure now we deliver quality, and even if it's at our own expense, we always opt for quality has to be delivered, because we have an understanding now, and regardless the client paid less, they didn't honor the deal or whatever, but at the end of the day, the job the service we're gonna give them, it's gonna reflect back to us. They're not gonna say, when someone sees a picture that's not high quality, they're not gonna say, Matavan didn't pay enough. No, they're gonna say,
picture, but one giving
this is not it. So we strive for quality, and I think that's what separates us from and we understand the value of a customer, even if it's just one customer, because like any other business, you've been through tough times, and then when it's dry, it's dry.
It's dry.
So when that one customer comes, there's this feeling you feel. So we understand the value of a customer, and we always opt to respect our customers in every way as possible. We never get like, you paid me to come, why are you wasting time?
Yeah.
We always say, let's go. We understand, even though sometimes we don't, but we always understand.
And that's very admirable, because not a lot of people like you say, it does set you apart in the sense that some people will literally drop a customer if they're not paying what they're willing or what they want them to pay, right? So I quickly want to let us get into the YouTube channel and the segment that you guys have on there, which is Say Something to Somebody, and you also have Say Something Somebody, right? Which is a documentary series. So how did the idea come about?
First of all, it's good to correct you. We have Something to Somebody. We have Say Something to Somebody. we have something to somebody shorts.
Okay.
Yes. So those are three segments that we have as something to somebody. They're basically the same thing, but then time frame they are not the one, because of maybe how we maybe how we approach a motor, how the enterprise gets the running all of that. And then something to somebody, it's a segmented or in whole than the others. That say something to somebody, it's a segmented or it's between the two. And then something to somebody shorts, it's basically shorts.
The short ones. So let's talk about Say Something to Somebody, because that's a documentary series, right?
When we started.
Yeah, how did it come about?
How did it come about? Yes. So I saw that there are a lot of people and a lot of ideas that are just disappearing to thin air because people don't know how to actually execute them. I'm not sure if ideas they have regarding business and getting into the entrepreneurial space, that if it should be something that they should pursue or not. So we figured out now there are people who are already in the space. So the best thing we can do with what we have, because we didn't have what we have currently, but we knew the best thing we can do with what we have is to help equip and inspire the youth who wants to be in the space of entrepreneurship and business through success stories of other businesses. And then we, at that time, we still know you see there's higher employment rate because we felt some youth has the mentality
go to school, get employed, do stuff.
All of that cycle, and some of them are waiting for someone to help them, and help is not coming, unfortunately. It's not coming. So we need to,
especially in this country. I don't know the others, but
as the youth, we need to start waking up, because if more youth put their ideas into life and practice, it's our entrepreneurship especially. That means more job opportunities. That means. And then for the businesses, the success stories of those businesses means exposure for them. And the more exposure, that means more client base, more revenue, meaning more chances for expansion and opportunity for expansion, meaning more job opportunities. And also, it's there to create a space where all of these entrepreneurs can network. Although they don't see it like that, but it was one of the things that they can also network. For an example, Junior is there on the documentary as a graphic designer. What if Trevor or Press sees Junior on the documentary, because he was also featured, and I told no, you know what, I need someone who's gonna do design for me the business logo, because I'm trying to build something new. And I found someone on the documentary, or someone who can cook or whatever the case might be, and it was built specifically for that. And the name Something to Somebody originated from saying someone had something which was an idea which turned them into a somebody, because through their success stories they become somebody's in the community. Plus you look up to him like, wow, he had that idea and it turned him into somebody.
That's beautiful. Junior, you're the face. So basically,
by default. By default.
You're the face. So
by default.
Me sitting here, I'm feeling your shoes. Right? Okay. Because on a day-to-day, you're the one that's conducting the questions.
Yeah.
So what has been your favorite episode or story to document so far, and why?
If I can try it. The thing is, I think I would be lying to myself to not say like that's one I got fair. But because each and every one, it's an experience on its own. Yeah. It's really amazing to say how fihla batho they give you the same answers when you ask them questions. Even maybe the businesses, they are close to maybe one another. Like let's say Tshepo, Press, le Khotso. Basically, they are both people that deal with food. But then they are their perspectives towards business is not the same.
Yeah.
So every single time it's an experience for me to say, over the experiences that they went through made them to be the type of people that they are. Okamsheba moto from afar to say, we get it and take it only to find out how to laugh at say never like you. I know. So recently there's a one that we shot, it's not out yet. I don't know that disclose it just as yet. It's an interesting one because it took longer than I thought also. Should I name the person?
Don't spoil it.
Okay, I'm not gonna spoil it. So I feel like that one was my favorite one, because that guy has an energy, an energy and a lot to talk about. And in between there's gems also that people are gonna pick out from that episode. Yeah. So I think it's that one if I could pick one of the episodes, but honestly all of them have always been
incredible.
I'm thinking it's a joke. I'm so sorry. I'm not going to show my dominance. I'm like.
Okay, so you guys spoke about with regards to how Say Something to Somebody came about. So the whole inspiration is that you inspire the youth, right, through success stories. Is there a way that you guys choose the business and the entrepreneurs that you feature on your channel?
I think somewhere in between God had like unalrona in that part, because now we've went to many places, some of them they denied, some of them they agreed. We have a specific person to go to, which we do, but then in most cases I think that part is mostly led by Mthembu, to say there's a place that I saw jail. So let's go there, how about we try it and all of that.
As much as it's inspiring youth and everything, let's not forget about more like kind of older generation in a sense. It's not really youth per se, Hagado. Because hear me out, even if you are 35 and you feel like your life is whatever, there's a chance for you to start entrepreneurship and start a business and be successful. So it's not really to say you feel like you're not feel about you love focus to go now Hagado. So in a sense.
All right, so let's get into the vision and plans now for Word Over Flesh. So what are the goals for both Word Over Flesh and Say Something to Somebody, right, for the next 5 years, and where do you guys see yourself heading?
Obviously the vision and the goal, especially for Word Over Flesh, we bought our own like studio and facility, and it can accommodate everything that we do, from the documentary to studio photography, because now we are a mobile photographer. We come to your place, backdrop and everything. Like a space and also so this is our studio. Then for Something to Somebody, a lot is coming. That's all that one I could only say that a lot is coming, and it's gonna need and require you guys support, honestly. We're gonna need your support on this one, because like I said, the goal and the plan was to influence the society and the culture and the society's perspective in a positive way, and that's the intent. And we can try to do it, but we can't do it by ourselves. We're gonna need you guys. Just a heads up. And then you know when the time arrives.
We want every town, every province, every country, to know Word Over Flesh in a sense. When you speak about Word Over Flesh, they say those guys. And obviously, everything, maybe even films as well, everything. So we'll see. So it's more in that sense to say,
So the sky is not the limit, huh?
Yes.
We're creating Disney Mzansi.
Disney Mzansi, yeah.
That's all I'm gonna give you. If you want to
All right. So you spoke of support and you spoke of the plans that you guys have, and also Junior mentioned merch coming up soon, which I'm personally excited about because I've been asking for those T-shirts. How?
We are cooking. Now. Let us cook.
So is that the only project in the pipeline, or is there more? If you guys that you can share with us.
Some of things we can't really say at this moment.
Yeah, we can't disclose.
We can't say, but yes, obvious match is something that is totally on the way. So just be on the lookout for that one, honestly. Just be on the lookout for that one, and you'll get yours as well.
Thank you. And I'm excited for you guys.
Thank you.
Excited for you guys.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, with that being said, what impact do you hope to have on the community? Obviously, you spoke about impacting the culture, right? But we didn't really get into the hows of it. Not just the community also, but the entrepreneurs that you guys hope to feature. So when you go and interview somebody for their story, what do you is there an expectation that you yourselves leave an impact there, and what impact is that?
This whole thing, we don't want it to stay within us. Like, I'm failing to find words because it's still manifesting. You get what I mean? But then it's that thing, we don't want it to stay here as word of flesh. We hope one day, as Tshepo, our own studios and everything, will pull in the people that need to be pulled in. Then Lebona Babe part of this whole thing, and then maybe Hana Gwenze, they will grow on their own. Again, back to the episode, the one that I talked about. Khotmano like the same vision in there. In somewhere in his episode, he said he wants to make a place where people can come together, basebeti as a whole. And then he doesn't want anything from them. At some point it will move on its own way. That's the only thing in my heart. So I feel like it resonates to us also. But influence the community and the people around us.
As Word of Flesh as a whole, we have taken an initiative in something to somebody. Each and every individual we interviewed have their own view and perspective. One thing I can say, it's similar they pushed the envelope. Each and every one of them had challenges, had problems that they could have justified them giving up. But they didn't. All of them. So, in so saying, through their experiences, it's a hope and it's a desire in our hearts of actually I don't have to, and I have to. In your perspective, I change, and then one other way, your change our perspective, more to cover his behavior through their perspective. Go isolated from the crowd. So most entrepreneurs get isolated from the crowd. So Lorena, through this, and I know each and every entrepreneurial journey, it's personal, it's different, and it has its own view. It's like a fingerprint. You cannot duplicate or whatever. It's a documentary series that people continue to, or it's a podcast and stuff. It's because it's different in its own way, and the reason why it's different to go and serve the crowd. So we are hoping something to somebody can be that hand, or Word of Flesh can be like that hand alone. Again, in the mess, and it's all of this from each and every one of the individuals. So that's the thing I give work out, and we want to culturally, we are striving to culturally influence the society in a good way. Yes.
So you want to change the norm?
Yes,
definitely.
You want to change the norm?
But in a reality kind of state, certain stuff can't change if we're always thinking the same way. You do the same thing, but you expect different results. How is that possible? Like, it's not possible. So that's why I'm saying, for me, when I look at it, it's more in a sense of we want to get to the space your brain e le go de motho ge change the perspective for motho the way ana hananga thing so that even if the situation in alenka go yona he can see a way out of that situation, because there's always a way. Anyway, there's always a way. If I can put it that way. Right now, looking at our communities and everything, it's so heartbroken to me to see people struggle, to see people going through stuff and not having the solutions, not having a way out of everything. But for us, it's more that it's a hope to say, okay, the more that we continue to do what we're doing currently, in a hope to say, God, intervene in everything that we do. Or now even that person who sees or listens to this thing can be impacted at some point. Let that seed keep on being planted in their hearts. Yeah. So yeah, it's basically that, man. It's basically that.
So Tshepo spoke of isolation of entrepreneurs, and you also spoke about how doing the same things will never yield different results. How do you guys then keep yourselves inspired to create in your line of work?
Honestly, for me now, I think what I can say at this moment, you have to always have a picture of where you want to go and look at people who have kind of gone there before, like who have been there. For me, I think it's what inspires me and us as well to say, okay, this is what we have to implement, to structure and to plan out so that we can arrive to the place where we want to go. In terms of photography, what are we lacking on? Let's look at people who have kind of like went, because tsela ho tsela e botswa ho bao ba sa baitle tsela ge botsa ho bao sa ba tsamaile before us. So that's what everything, like the inspiration comes from, to say, okay, ge botsa ho batho ba sa ba
it's constantly rebuilding yourself.
Yeah.
Or Okasnahano or Kasiteni RDP into a big house. If you don't constantly we improve basically. You look through into the long but we never get up before. So that thing helps you to learn something that you didn't learn. Because everything that we do, nobody has taught us. It came as an idea that didn't have any structure. What's needed to do all of those things. Where we are currently, it's that thing constantly every day. There's probably ideas that we saw probably on Instagram, because social media is a good thing that people should use. Told Tshepo one day, guys, I saw something and I think maybe we can implement it because it aligns with what we have. Then maybe I come with that thing, like vice versa. So you can't grow if you don't do that on a regular basis. That's why it's about on this thing, it doesn't need you to like feel like you're gonna be relaxed. Mutasing relaxed or constantly improve on the things until maybe you reach the goal that you wanted to reach. This is what I wanted to see. I had a picture, but then it was not vivid. So now it's starting to be vivid.
Adding to that, one of the things I give myself inspired now, it says the word. Because it says it in the Bible, I have plans to prosper you and not to forsake you. And I know I know the age of it. Let the weak say I'm strong and you're like, I'm weak. How can I say I'm strong and I'm weak? And I know it's a constant struggle like everyone, but going back to the example by Junior, we guess we believe we're now going to RDP to mention if we so can mention. Because in your world, the RDP
is a standard.
You know, go on a whole. So that's why somebody happened. Like I said, always now was not what influencing the culture. Perspective is about to goes back to right. If Montasa Zebore, when I'm not up and it's into this business society, I guess now it's possible for me. You have to look at where you want to be.
Yeah.
Or be inspired and motivated to I'm not sure if you can. Now, o batle ho fitla mo soka o soka bona
Imagine
I can reach spaces and it's only by God when I the vision. Now you still need something close, relatively close to continuously motivate you. And one of my favorite apps, we are not supposed to be advertising for anyone, but then keep Pinterest because the creators are so big in most things. So if you want any inspiration as someone in the creative space, it's the way to go. When you want to be, if then you can look at that. But if you want to compete international, you have to look at the international rights. Because somehow you might forget or no, the whole Sofia more whichever brand they LinkedIn, but then go figure. One of the top brands.
In closing, Miya, what advice would you guys give to aspiring entrepreneurs or creators such as yourself who want to start their own business in multimedia or a YouTube channel?
One of the number one given advices in the space is a business.
You don't have to be perfect.
Yes, the Bible says it. Whoever waits for that
season
to sow a seed.
We never saw that guy.
Never him even. So the best advice is anyone can give you. And yes, now in this space, I would say a banana backbone. Yes, because you offer a vision. This is where I want to take you. Pastor, I don't have to check that off a vision. It's up to you now. That vision. This is the destination. The best thing you can figure destination you just have to have faith that's how you align yourself with God's will. Through the steps. If more and there's not darkness all around you, you are not going to sell a man when into in the darkness. We have to start moving. If we check out the spotlight is alone, the 13th a day, you have to move. The light moves with you. Everyone is always going to have an opinion about what you should do. But if you have developed people, you can understand. Oh no, that's not. I know it. The vision. I know where I want to go. But more, the vision alone was eating.
I think happy to add on that. Now I will say, there's this thing, man. There's this notion of to say, hey, I need to have this and this and this and this and this to start anything looking back like that. For some reason, that thing is not entirely true. It's not entirely true. For me, I make music, and on some other spare time. Not spare time, but I'm saying I'm making music on the side. But it's one of those things to say, right now, if I have, or let me say a content creator or whoever, take whatever that Samsung or that Oppo phone or whatever that you have, start with that phone. Don't expect to have iPhone at the startup to say, okay, where are you gonna get iPhone? That means you'll never start. Even this morning I was watching this video of this guy who made a music video. He shot it on iPhone. You get what I'm saying? So now if he always had this thing of, no, I want cameras, I want lighting to be this type. When are you gonna do that thing that you say you wanna do? So I'm saying, whatever that you have, start with that thing. If you wanna make content, start with that phone. Start with that phone. If you wanna, I don't know, whatever it is that you wanna start with that thing that you have.
Adding to that, if Okala passion, I'm telling you, you're not even gonna see the difference between using the mobile cell and the iPhone. Because if we check out our episodes, you can go to the first episode we use the content mixed up. and we are to the recent episode. How about the difference? But this the quality. And then a lot has changed behind the scene. But you can see the difference. But like a camera one, we didn't even have lights or anything. Just one camera, we started the whole thing. So the importance of Hokalaka, whatever you have, go there in a space you are equipped for failure. If that's the right way to say it. Yes, you are equipped for failure because you've been there before. Why come out at the you've never been there. So you depressed fella. But you're thinking of all of these things. See, so the everything makes the natural. It's so true.
Yeah.
Color, what you have. Even if what you have is more make sure when you produce quality that has never existed in the spaces that you
That's where we told our melody about that in Toba.
Oh, the fear as well.
Yeah, the fear. But the Lebozo. Nalekele lessons and a payla. And it's working, it's functional. You know what you like, you know what you want to see or obey on a move in the future. But and then the other thing now that I saw for myself is that managing time is important in a lot of things. We know as people we suffer from this thing how we turn it answer with TikTok. And then we wake up already Instagram and all of those things. Whereas if that 1 hour Okangola plan the whole day. Okangola plan the whole day. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need to cater to it. Change. Someone that I know once told me that they happen on the internet. I saw it already.
Yeah. Robala, I sing Robala
So we need to also learn that thing at time management and making sure you're serious on what you do. Manage your time. I know what telling you foster yourself for everything so that those something. Because there's a lot of things that we do slightly the equation
yeah. And just to add on a serious note, I think one of the things that we have to realize is that nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's coming to save you as long as we're not saying, as a person who say, you know what, I want to do this thing. I want to better my life. I want a better life with my family or all those who are around me. Nobody's coming to save you. Nobody's going to hand out things upon your lap to say, this is this. This is this. For us, I'm saying it because we come from families that really didn't have means to support us in any way. In any way. So it's more basic just to say, okay, this is what I want to do. This is my passions. This is what I love to do. And for me, I will say, if it's about Mthembu will never forsake you or leave you or whatever. If you have put that thing in your heart to say, you know what, my son or my daughter, go and do this thing. Just go and do it. Keep on trusting in him, and he will show you the way. He will show you things to do. He will give you right people to help you out and those kind of stuff. So that is that.
In everything that we said, the best thing I could say, Corey, you know yourself as an individual. So the best thing you can do for yourself, Corey, now. What we said, you don't have to necessarily take it and go fair. Go meditate over it. Make sure you get your own revelation of everything that we said, because Harachaning as individuals, so we answered the questions according to our perspective on life in general and our relationship with God. But you have your own relationship with God and relationship with everyone else around that. So go meditate on it and have your own revelation of it. Stop taking everything when it comes social media, because sharp, it's so true, but totally it's not true for you as an individual. We are unique as our fingerprints. Everyone will claim we're unique, but then the same thing the next person is. That's not authenticity. That's not an epitome of uniqueness in any way. So, we so say, develop your own personal relationship with God, so that I want to find your personal revelation, His will, your life. Typically, but what are open outside of the matrix, understanding or analyzing an individual. That's not for me. That's for me. Engagement. If also believe you are unique, to feel opt out what lets them 2020 years, always strive to be unique. Strive for it. Obviously, what is something unique? Have I have to hear most importantly, listen to that voice, man. Listen to that voice, because oftentimes it's the spirit, and it does about know there's so much noise that we can't even hear when the spirit is speaking to us. Do whoever appropriate and everything, because I'm over uniquely. And let me keep quiet, but I'm canceling.
All right, thank you so much, guys. So, Ritolakai, Word Over Flesh, socials, handles,
Everywhere. Everywhere. Handle something to somebody, something to somebody _
DOC.
You'll find it on YouTube, you'll find it on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And then Word Over Flesh, it's Word Over Flesh Production. It's on Instagram and Facebook currently. And then we have Word Over Flesh Photography.
It's also on YouTube.
It's also
Production.
Yeah, production is also on YouTube. And then Word Over Flesh Photography, it's on Instagram and Facebook. Yes, that's where everyone back out landing. And then our numbers are now
the 068 117 5342.
068 117 5342. Yeah, Bob.
What's our camera?
One now.
It's a big.
Hey.